All right, I figured I might as well go live. Go ahead and figure out whether or not people are watching, and actually, I have a few different discussions that I need to have anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and continue talking while I work with a few other people. Try to get there. We go. All right, get my button here so you can take a look at what I'm doing. So let's see. Let me go ahead and go live and go with. Let's go with Lockmail. So let's see what I can do about this screen. And not a whole lot. Who gives a shit? Let's go ahead and. There we go. So this is part of my Lockmail right here. So we got a Mont Blanc Magnum. So really pretty, right? Really interesting keyway. This is a wafer lock, so the entire Bible here is completely useless. So here's the second one, new in box, 5 keys. There will be a challenge at some point, so pay attention because I do want a challenge. This is a brown belt level lock that not a lot of people actually use in America, in the United States. Let me go and get this actually to where we're going to be able to see it. Yeah, so this is a lock that not a lot of people actually get to play with. So I would love to be able to get it operational, get a bunch of people excited about it, and get people that want to win it as a prize for the most part. Okay, so let's discuss what I'm going to do during my live feed next time. After midnight live feed, I am going to discuss a few different everyday carries. And let me see, there you are. So we are going to discuss everyday carries for single pin pickers. I know the Covert Companion 2.0 just came out. We are not going to be discussing that because it doesn't have anything to do with the single pin picking. So as we look at single pin picking solutions like the Covert Instruments, what is they called? The Slim Tickler, and then the Sparrows. They're wonderful EDC Southern specialties. They have a interesting single pin and the Swick. So we're going to discuss all of these. My use case was 100% going to a child sporting event, sitting in a lawn chair, and being able to pick a lock, single pin pick. That is my use case. So as far as what I'm going to discuss, that is it. It is going to be what EDC is appropriate for somebody that's going to single pin pick at their kid's soccer game, right? So now what I really want to discuss here tonight is going to have to do with these two locks versus these two locks. So this has to do with paracentric keyways. American lock and pack lock do not have paracentric keyways. You can go ahead and you can pick the lock all day long. You're never going to bend a pick picking directly from the bottom of the keyway to the top of the keyway. You will absolutely be able to pick all the way through both of these. You will not be able to pick from the bottom of the keyway to the top of the keyway on either of these. This is a Lockwood, the 334 B45, but any letter 45. You are not going to be able to pick that through the keyway. You will bend your pick. And the Avis, this is notorious for bending picks. So when I say bending picks, what I mean is your pick starts out looking like this, and it ends up looking like this, right? So completely, there you go, flat, not flat. Um, and the reason that happened is that I tried to go in near where the pin was and pick where the pin was and all that good stuff, right? You're doing the yeah, I'll do it from here and I'll move along and I'll go ahead and get it in and you're thinking that you need a longer pick. You're not thinking that you need a different type of pick. So this is where the problem is. I have seen too many people confidently say you need to have a thinner pick to get through that paracentric keyway. That is absolutely not what you need. You need to start picking from the bottom because there are holes on top of the pins. And so you can pick from the top of the keyway into those pins. What you need is a deeper hook, and this is a number 5. Let's see if I can get the number 5 to show up. Maybe, I don't know. So you need to pick from the bottom of the keyway, which obviously means you need top of keyway tension. So let's see, this might do it. So you would need to be doing top of keyway, bottom of keyway, going through each one of those holes and finding the hole above the pin. There is a hole above every pin. It actually gets a little bit easier for single pin picking with security when you have a paracentric keyway. So you're actually able to find each pin where I believe in my pack lock, I was actually no, it was before that. It was in my American lock. I was trying to find out, I had actually mapped the entire thing out. I'd memorized the lock, except for the last pin. The final step that I had for that guy was you pick pin 1 or pin 6 or pin 5, one pick down, so one click. You do not touch pin 4. Pin 3, 1 down. Pin 2, 2 down. Pin 1, 3 down. Then back to pin 3, all the way down, right? So I'd accidentally mistaken pin 3 for pin 4, and I had gone after pin 4. When you have holes like this, you're not going to get confused of, oh, that was pin number 2 or pin number 3 or pin number 4. You have holes above the pins. You can't rake up here. You have holes going through warding. The warding goes all the way through the lock. So there is warding all the way through the lock, but there are holes above every pin. I am yet to find a warded keyway that does not have holes above the pin. When I find that keyway, I'll go ahead and I'll deal with it accordingly. But as for right now, that is just hey, it's a fact of life. If you have a very crazy paracentric keyway, where you've heard people like Lockpicking Lawyer and Lady Locks and Bosnian Bill talk about using the bottom of the keyway to red wrench against. That's what they're talking about. You have that keyway, and that's where you're going to operate from. The Lockwood. This is one of the most beautiful locks that I own. Super heavy. This thing probably weighs about 3 pounds. When I showed the bent pick, like I have probably that's not a bent pick. Where did you go? I have probably about a half dozen bent picks off of this. So yeah, this one is a bent pick. So this is completely destroyed. Even to the degree where, so this is a number 4, this is a number 5. We're supposed to match up at the very least, so we're matched up on the back. It's supposed to match up at the very least to there. And I mean, when you match them up on the back end, they are very far apart. So this got bent all to hell. Um, from trying to pick through the warding, and the warding on this guy, the reason was that it was just a single jutting piece out. It just barely sticks out a couple millimeters, but then you're doing this active work trying to get stuff in, and you end up bending the hell out of this stuff. And then I found out that there's holes in the warding, and I could have just been going, oh yeah, there, 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 and there. Now I've picked the entire lock. So out of the 5 pins that are in this guy, I did not bend this pick at all. But I bent this guy so bad that I had to fix him probably 4 times with pliers, and he's still off. Like, this still has to be bent back down, readjusted. Actually, I'm not even going to bother with that. What I'm going to do with something that's that messed up is I'm going to buy new. So what ended up happening is I ended up spending more money because I did not know that there are holes in the warding. So that's the takeaway for people from this one, is that there are holes in the warding that you are supposed to pick through. And this starts usually at green, usually blue, somewhere around there. And it continues on for anything that is a pinned lock. Like, if like, obviously they're not going to have that in dimples, but if you have a pinned lock, there is going to be a hole in the warding for you to go ahead and pick through. You're going to be fine with that. I saw somebody saying you need to buy these smaller and smaller picks, thinner to get through the warding. It's like, that's not the problem. The problem is that people are not aware you can pick through the warding. And when I say through, I mean go from the bottom and pick through the holes in the warding to knock the pins down. And you are actually lined up to do it. It makes picking easier. So that's my goal, is to try and share that information. I'm going to go ahead and go live at some point for the lockjaw. I'm going to cover the sparrows, the swick, the southern specialties, and covert instruments, all single pin picking solutions for everyday carry. So please go ahead and join on to that. I really hope you guys end up following, and if not, well, you're lost, whatever. All right. Y'all have a good one. Bye.